Hello, Otakus! We had a break from the podcast last week, so this week we are doubling up. We have Orochi getting what he deserves, Big Mom and Kaido's overwhelming strength, the strategy to separate Big Mom and Kaido, Kid and Killer going off to fight Big Mom, Kaido saving Big Mom, Law and Zoro fighting Kaido, Zoro's awakening conquers Haki, and Luffy's awakening armament conquers Haki. And stay until the end later. We are also going to talk about what's going to happen to the next chapter. Welcome to Otaku International Podcast. I'm Kiwi-Chan and welcome to this week's podcast of 1009 and 1010. And here we're hosting, we have Muninn and
Hi.
I.
Hello.
We're also going to rank 1 to 10 and have a Q&A Q&A about the chapter. Also, if you have any questions, please wait until the very end or wait until we say you can put your question in so that we can answer your question immediately. And also, if you want a part of our otaku family make sure to join our Discord to be part of our Otaku International family. So we want to get to know you, we want to get to know everyone and talk about your favorite series and anime. So please check in our description to join our Discord. Now let's get started. Mudin, what do you think about Orochi's standoff with the samurai in chapter 1009?
Honestly, it's interesting because we saw Orochi dying so often right now. We saw him, I think, 3 times now that
Yeah.
he was killed. And Oda is referring to Yamata Orochi, no Orochi, which
Mm-hmm.
is the legend behind it. But also, I read reread the mythology behind it. It is different. And honestly, I have a kind of a theory on that one.
Okay, we will save that theory at the thing. So, Ike, what do you think about that question?
So, man, when we came into the scene, I think we talked about it a couple times, and I was like,
Mhm.
you know what? These samurai, they need to have their moment with him. And as they opened it up with the fire everywhere and stuff like that, and this cool standoff scene with them looking down on him,
Mhm.
it's actually completely hilarious because like they're just kind of looking at him like, dude, we really don't have time for you. Like, are you serious right now? And he's just like exaggeratingly like, oh my god, you're in front of me. So when it's I think it's one of those things like Muninn said, the whole mythology behind the serpent with the multiple heads and stuff like that. I all kind of saw it coming that he would come alive. But I don't think this is gonna be the last we see of him. I really don't think it is. But I am happy that they freaking chopped this dude up and just kind of walked past him. That part was absolutely awesome. They needed this. They absolutely needed this, especially because they're all beaten up and stuff like that. So I thought it was a good part to like add into here because it was just like one of those things that kind of gave them their serenity for what has been going on. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's exactly what I think about that.
I think the samurai standing up with Orochi is. I feel like Orochi's starting to fear the samurais now because of how crazy it is now, and I feel like it's really good to have something like that. Um, like since he's the one who took over, and it feels so intimidating. He's kind of scared of what's going on now, and I really really like it. And honestly, I have to. I have to agree with Muninn. I'm actually feel like it's going to be an amazing chapter. It's gonna be satisfying when he gets defeated like fully this like thing. So let's go to the next question. Big Mom and Kaido's overwhelming strength. What do you think, Ike?
Oh my god. So literally this scene when they're just like, you know what, we need to do a combo attack. I was like, oh man, this is not gonna be good. Just thinking how strong they are. Now
Yeah.
them both attacking at the same time. Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh god. Like when they put it in on that, and like all I could think is somebody's gonna get messed up.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. There's no way. And
Mhm.
when like Zoro just kind of comes in and blocks it like a badass. Like I couldn't. I was like, really? This is gonna be like literally the most strongest attack going against you guys, and Zoro just comes up and fucking and freaking just like deflects it. I think that part, man, they really are too overpowered. And they need, like they were talking about before about the strategy to separate them. They absolutely needed to separate these two because they were just too much, way too much.
What do you think, Muninn, with Big Mom and Kaido's overwhelming strength?
I feel like the same as Ike. I was like, oh god, somebody. Honestly, at that point, I felt like, is it the tragedy we are all waiting for? Is it the tragedy and Act 3 will end like that? Honestly, I just thought when this, but also then got reminded, yeah, it's in the middle of the chapter.
Mhm.
So, and then Zoro came in and it was like, it was so badass how Zoro just came in and blocked the attack.
My
From like
boy.
the double attack from Big Mom and Kaido, two Yonkos.
Yeah.
Like even the Marines are scared of the Yonko.
They better be.
And Zoro just came in and blocks her, like double the strength, literally. And I was like, oh my gosh, God. Amazing.
All right. And what is the strategy between the separation of Big Mom and Kaido? Now, before we answer that question, I like to say with Big Mom and Kaido's overwhelming strength. I actually, for me, I was actually like, um, I was scared for because of how the two presented itself. Like this is the two, like the same legend that would also fight against, like the same strength as like Whitebeard and Roger, or we never know because since they might have passed Roger's strength, but still like this is someone scary, and I feel like this is like a key to for Luffy and the generation to take the candle for what they need to take on, like the gauntlet and stuff like that. So I think that this is showcased between Big Mom and Kaido's strengths. So let's talk about the strategy to separate Big Mom and Kaido. Let's go with Munin. Munin, what do you think about it?
Um, I think how they work together to achieve that, to Kid making this box where he traps Zeus, and Killer like Killer is trying to is fighting against what's the sword's name again?
Oh.
It is Zeus, Prometheus,
Zeus,
and
Prometheus, and
uh,
I
the
forgot.
sword, Big
Yeah.
Mom's sword,
The sword.
Napoleon,
There
Napoleon.
it is. There it
Yeah, Napoleon.
the French guy.
is.
Napoleon. Yeah.
um, yeah, and I was, and then also like Law using to trap Zeus. He
Mm-hmm.
is he's shambling, and then with the mess he is like just slapping Big Mom off the roof.
Yeah.
And how they work together, it showed how they can work together
Mm-hmm.
and how they are able to utilize their strength
Mm-hmm.
to defeat, not defeat, but to weaken a stronger opponent.
Hmm.
Even though they literally don't know each other that well,
That's true.
That's true.
and and their opponents, like their enemies.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What about you, Ike?
Like she just said, man, the way they were able to put together this plan was freaking awesome. Especially because these guys, necessarily in the very beginning of all of this whole thing, they never wanted to work together. That was never going to be a real thing. But
Yeah.
the fact that they had to come together now to this point, and they're able to actually work actually really well, especially with Law being able to use his powers. When they come up with that plan, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because you kind of already know that Luffy's gonna keep Kaido busy because Luffy is Luffy, and he's just like, "I'm gonna fight you, Kaido." So he's just over there in the corner fighting Kaido the whole time, which
Yeah.
automatically separates Big Mom. So it kind of
Yeah.
already made it so that they can double team Big Mom while Luffy dealt with Kaido. So that the mindset of the plan, you can tell Law was like, "I already know this is gonna happen." So while Luffy's dealing with him, we got to
Yeah.
take care of her. Um, which the plan they had Zoro going after the freaking sun, and then like she said, Killer going after the sword was perfect. And then
Mm-hmm.
of course you needed someone that was strong to go after Big Mom, which
Mm-hmm.
his attacks actually didn't do much. They're just kind of bouncing off of her because her freaking her hockey or how strong she is. Um, but I think it was smart that he planned the freaking her to attack him like that, and he shot her off, and then Law was able to separate her completely for everything. So
Mm-hmm.
their plan was actually all Law's plan because he's a freaking absolute genius. But it worked perfectly, and the way he did it like that was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their plan to separate Big Mom and Kaido was the perfect thing they can do because they were getting wrecked. Like with both of them there, they're absolutely getting wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
What I also want to add here
Mhm.
is also Oda also declaring one of Law's flaws again in his
Mhm.
power, which is the haki. If an opponent has has
Yes.
a huge amount of a stronger haki than Law has, his powers on this person won't work. He cannot move the person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, I wanted to add about like the strategy between separating them. I kind of agree with Ike about how those two don't get along as much as I think it's the pride, but as they trying to see the situation is getting bad and we need to work on to things, I feel like the strategy for them to go off and stuff would be perfect. And I feel like um it's good to have Kid with Big Mom because Kid already destroyed his couple of his territories, like his ships. You seen foreshadow that he like Kid was messing with Big Mom's territory. So it's kind of like like he's wrecking ships. Remember that Luffy gave the treasure in order to save Fishman Island, and you already know Kid is the one who destroyed the ship, and apparently Kid beat in one of Big Mom's things. So I feel like that's a good way for a fight between Big Mom versus Kid in that situation because um Kid already messed with Big Mom, so I think he has a strategy to beat Big Mom. Same with both of them, but with Kaido, he's much of a tank, and you need someone like to go like to unshatter that tank of hawkiness, like the entire conqueror's hockey in his body. And you need like what's that called, Luffy, who's learning, like how he is he's learning his feature sight when he was fighting with Katakuri. Now he's learning how to use it with Kaido. So I think this match will be a testament of Luffy's strategy to learn and adapt his new strength and new things that he could fight.
I have a question there
Mhm.
for you on Kid. We know we know Kid has Conqueror's Haki.
Yes.
Yep.
What do you think? To what extent can Kid control his Conqueror's Haki?
Well, we don't know if he actually can like control to the point of um like we don't know if like he's going to be like, I don't know, like he's gonna be like he wants to like use armament or observation, because we only saw him using conquerors. So now that's the different question, like, do you think he has the conquerors coding thing around him when he's fighting his opponent?
Mhm.
Because if that's the case, then it makes sense when he attacks Kaido too, and also with Big Mom, since he doesn't have armament, he has the conqueror's coding.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
think it's interesting actually. I think that part is interesting because you know what, he hasn't really
mhm,
showed that he's using any of those things. I feel like even like when he's attacking Big Mom, has he showed really that he's using hockey within all that metal? I don't think they've actually, and I don't know if it's maybe an art style or anything like that, but I haven't seen him
yeah,
use any type of armor hockey. Um, but he
yeah,
does have hockey though. He does
yeah,
absolutely have hockey. Because for one thing, he's able to withstand even stand against hockey in the first place,
yeah.
or any type of conquers hockey. So he definitely has some sort of hockey. Um,
Mhm.
but I honestly think he's trash. That's just me. I think he's absolutely. He thinks he's a badass and stuff like that. And yeah, he's brutal and stuff, but he needs to get it together because right now it's like Law's got hockey, Zoro's got hockey, freaking Luffy has hockey. I haven't seen Killer, and I have not
Mhm.
seen Kid have hockey. Like
Yes,
armament.
I think we have seen. Like,
Yeah.
wait, let me. I think when I remember it correctly, Kid has two types of hockey. He has Conqueror's Hockey and he has Armament Hockey,
Yep.
if I remember it correctly.
Mhm.
Um,
Is it
but
Kid or Law?
uh, Kid Law
Okay.
only has Law. I think Law only has Armament Hockey. I'm not
Oh.
sure about Mantra.
Mhm.
I always forget the name.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
actual name of the hockey. Well, I only know it in German.
Mhm. Yeah. And let's go to the next question. Big Mom and Prometheus conversation. I'll go in that question. Actually, I've been curious, like, what is his new, like, could it be that his new technique, or like bringing out something? I kind of got curious of what it is
Mhm.
that Prometheus was telling to Big Mom, and it's actually quite interesting. I wanted to learn more about it, so that's quite interesting. What about you, Ike?
Okay. So when he spoke about this part, all right, he's talking to Big Mom, and she's like,
Yeah.
"What was that useless oaf Zeus doing?" And she's freaking out. And then and Prometheus is like, "Look, that airhead is always holding us back, Mom. I got a favor to ask." When he says that right there, I'm like, "Oh no, I think
Wait,
what he's gonna
wait,
do."
wait,
Go ahead.
wait. Do you think if he separate, like, he thinks like, okay, we don't need Zeus? Do you think Zeus will go to Nami?
I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying that he wants Big Mom to take Zeus's soul and put it into Prometheus to make Prometheus stronger.
No, we need
Yeah,
Zeus to be back with
yeah, I
Nami.
know. I would love Yami to have. No, I said Yami. I would love Nami to actually have that power to make her kind of like way stronger than what she is.
Mhm.
But you know what? that cloud is absolutely useless to Big Mom. I'm just gonna say that. And you know what? It's to the point where like even Prometheus is like, hey, he's done. Let me become stronger. I think that's
Yes.
what he's telling Big Mom right now, and I think that's what's actually gonna happen.
Mhm.
Hopefully it does not happen, but I think
I hope so because
I, uh,
if they like like before maybe like like yes he
uh,
can take and then kid comes in and try to think maybe Zeus will like okay I'll go with not Nami at least she gives me food.
Zeus. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I think Big Mom, I think Prometheus wants that soul so he can get stronger. And I think that is what's gonna happen. Yeah, it sucks, but he's kind of has this like if you look at the picture of him when he's like, oh, that airhead, and he's talking trash about Zeus,
Mhm.
he has this like mischievous look to him. And then afterward, he's like, Ma, I got a favor to ask. That right there, man,
Mhm.
that kind of just like shows how like cold-hearted they are in the first place. So I
Mhm.
think she might take the soul from Zeus and put it right into Prometheus to make him stronger. It might
Yes.
happen. I don't know if it'll happen, but it might happen. If you realize too, at the end of that part, Kid actually looks at the clouds. He's like, what the clouds
Mhm.
are, and it kind of lingers over, and now it goes back to like the next scene. So
Yeah.
I think they're definitely gonna do something. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna do something.
Yep.
Um, but that's literally what I think about that part.
Mhm. What about you, Muninn?
So I was like, "What you little piece of trash of a soul infused thing? What are
Yeah.
you planning?" And
Mhm.
he's he's definitely planning something
Mhm.
devious and evil, and
God, that
I
little
don't know
tape.
what. I honestly I don't want it. I don't want um Zeus to be taking the soul out because it would take away Nami's power up again, and I
Yeah.
want him to be back with Nami,
I
honestly.
know.
Mm, so I'm not sure what he's planning. But also, as Ike said, it has something to do with the clouds, and they're talking about Zeus. Um,
But do you think so? Do you think Brooke will save? You know.
on right, like, Rook has his soul power. He could save Zeus
Yeah.
Oh,
in the end.
that
Yeah.
is. Oh, I didn't even
Like
think
Zeus,
about that.
Plus, we
Zeus
don't
gets his
know.
soul taken away,
Yeah.
and
And,
Rook is there in the end to
Yeah.
save Zeus for Nami.
uh,
But remember, Brooke is. Where is Brooke now? We don't know where he is now. So
he's fighting with Robin right now.
okay, so
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe Robin or like maybe they're like things. So maybe how Brooke is. He goes separating. He can go soul. So I feel like he can basically like find the red poneglyph if he wants to. But I feel like with that, I feel like he's going to take that opportunity to get Zeus to Nami again.
Mhm. Definitely.
So I feel like that's something that
That'd
would
be
be
interesting.
all right. This is the biggest hyped up question, and I wanted to give this to Ike since his favorite character is Zoro. So Zoro's awakening King's hockey. What do you think?
Man, okay, here we go. So as we like talk about all this and stuff like that with
Yeah.
Zoro actually awakening King's Hockey, like, come on now, we knew Zoro was gonna get his moment. All right, we pretty much already knew he had Conqueror's Hockey and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and like we kind of like it lingered. This actually happened in Yano when we kind of like in Wano when we knew that okay, he has it. This is a thing, but this
Yeah.
is confirmed even though he's kind of a dunce and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But man, this final attack when he does what is it called? Ashura. Man,
Yes.
I've been waiting for him to do Ashura, and I knew when he finally did Ashura, he would unleash freaking Conqueror's Hockey. I knew it. This was the most perfect part for him to do this.
Question: do you think he put it a coated Conquerors with
Yes. Yes. He coded Conqueror's Hockey on all his blades. You can see it too, like in the moment when he said, he's like, "Hey, Kaido, that's my captain. You got there," and like all you see is the freaking the hockey kind of flowing through the blade, and then and he legit, like, he looks like he's just kind of like this immense aura is around him as he
Yes.
goes through. And he just slices through Kaido. And I don't mean like a little cut. He slices through Kaido. I was like, yeah, let's go. Even Law was surprised, man. Law was like, dang, Zoro, I didn't know you were this badass. And like, man, just all of that, him putting it in, and he put a deep cut in Kaido. Like, Kaido had one scar before by Odin, and now he's gonna have another one up right next to his heart. And like, man, if Zoro was able to make that a little deeper, I'm just saying he could have ended it right there. I'm just saying. But it was good. It was really good. I think it was a perfect moment for him.
What you would KKZ then kill Kaido?
What was
Zoro,
that?
KKZ meaning kill Kaido by Zoro.
Oh, kill Kaido by Zoro. I like it. Go. Hey man, that right there was absolutely awesome. How he put all his strength into it and stuff. And like I said before, I think it was so weird that he's like Kaido looked at him and he's like, "You have Conqueror's Hockey too?" And he just kind of so confused. He's like, "It can't be." And then Zoro's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he passes out. But man, that right there, just him being able to do that just shows what Zoro truly can do. Like, it was awesome. That was a great attack. He put some awesome damage down. It's definitely going to affect him. And this is why Zoro, all right, I know he's number 2 in the ship, but I'm saying
he's a vice cap, okay? He's like Raven, okay?
Oh yeah, he's the first shipmate, man. He's gotta be badass. This has to be a thing. And so that moment, I think it was bound to happen. I think it's bound to happen for him to get Conqueror's Hockey and to allow it to flow through his swords and stuff like that. It was a moment that mattered. We saw it before with Enema and stuff like that. How he was able to bring out the potential, but we didn't see him able to coat his swords with Conqueror's Hockey. That right there is pretty. Even though he did it like not consciously, Zoro, but it was awesome, and that shows that also later on that he's gonna be doing the same thing, and he's gonna be on the same level as all these other people, aka Luffy. But this part was hype, and I loved it. I love that they brought him out like this.
Mm-hmm. And Muninn, I looking by your expression, you're excited to talk about it too. So let's hear what
Yes. Come on, this moment was so big. It was so exciting. It was so hype. And you see all of the blades in the attack are black.
Mm-hmm.
They are black. So he is coating his swords with Haki. And the Conqueror's Haki thing, the first time Luffy awakened his Conqueror's Haki, he was also not aware that he's using Conqueror's Haki. So I think it's like a common thing. If you awaken Conqueror's Haki, if you awaken Conqueror's Haki, it's usually triggered by something.
Mm-hmm.
And usually awakening Conqueror's Haki is something that is done unconsciously. Like, the people don't get they are awakening Haki.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Zoro knows what Haki is, he's not aware that he has Conqueror's Haki until Kaido told him or asked him if he has Conqueror's Haki.
Yep.
And also, Law being surprised that Zoro has this like massive attack and doing Conqueror's Haki. a part of Killer, he is the only one on the rooftop now who doesn't have Conqueror's Haki.
Yeah.
I had to look it up again. He only has
Ornament.
armament, and foresight.
You said
Like
that was
mantra.
you said
Now
that
you
was okay, okay.
this is like a
Yeah.
testament to how,
Mhm.
because if you think about it, Zoro would not follow anybody except for Luffy.
Yeah.
Also, if you think about it, we already told in the last talked about Roger's crew in the last
Mhm.
few podcasts, and how it resembles
Mhm.
Roger's crew. Like Roger had Conqueror's Haki,
Mhm.
of course, like Luffy, but also Rayleigh, the
Right?
first mate of
Yes.
Roger, has Conqueror's Haki. So it was Zoro had to have Conqueror's
Yeah.
Haki. If not, how could Zoro be the first mate
Hmm.
of the Pirate King?
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
what I also want to like this scene is so amazing.
Mhm.
And
I love it.
I loved it. And after that, like Law being a support again. He's the whole fight. He's only supporting.
Mhm.
Like he dodged. He saved Zoro from getting like the complete Thunder Bagua
Yeah.
from Kaido after Zoro
Mhm.
passed out or did his attack fall down. Ah,
Yeah, he just kind of exerted himself completely. Man.
yes. Yes, he exerted himself, and then like Kaido may attacked again with the Thunder Bagua, and like
Mhm.
Law getting in the way
Yep.
to tank most of the damage. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
Law is not going. So Zoro is not going to die,
No.
and that's also resembling what Zoro said. Law said before to Zoro that
Mhm.
it's not worth it if anybody dies on this roof.
Yep.
Like he is the one who's supporting them, who's getting them around,
Mhm.
and actually saving all of those lives.
Yeah. For me, like when I saw Zoro waking up, I was shocked, honestly, because I was like, what? I think he has potential to have Awakening Conquerors hockey. Like there's people paralleling him and Rayleigh in
Mhm.
in this sense. I mean him and Rayleigh kind of act like um kind of the same if you think about it. Like Rayleigh would go and drink, and then sometimes he would I don't think Zoro is a gambler, but he's more of a someone who is willing to do whatever he wants, and he just goes with the flow. And I think in the end of the series, I think Zoro will be just like a wandering swordsman, just like Rayleigh,
Mhm.
honestly. So to me, I feel like he already accomplished everything. But honestly, I love how Zoro is getting the shine that he is. I know like we have Luffy, he's the main character, but I think that's why we love One Piece is because
Mhm.
all the characters in Luffy's crew can get the shine. So in a sense, I feel like that's why we love One Piece is because each and every one of them getting shine except for like even with Luffy too. So honestly, I I I'm actually happy. How does what how is the badass does Luffy's
Got
armament
cocky.
hockey awakening.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think his armament was been awake, honestly, but he wasn't fully using it in a sense because
Mhm.
when they were crashing with Dress Rosa, with Chin Chown, also with Don Flamingo, you can see little sparks. You can see a little bit, even with I think even with Katakuri, I think. So that's, to me, I can see sparks of it, but I don't think he knows how to code it
Coded.
to the point to make
Yeah.
it shield. Because remember when that when what's that called, when Rayleigh was explaining him about armament, you need to make that armament as you're coding it to use it offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
And I think that that is something that Luffy, like, yeah, he knows how to do it, like, offensively, like attack, but
Mhm.
he does not know how to do defensively. And the more he practiced, the more he does this, he's I'll be honest with you, I'm not, like, Luffy is smart when it comes to battle. I'm not, you cannot, like, for, like, yeah, he's not very bright in the shed, but when it comes to Luffy's fighting, he is, like, stubborn. He's like those kid. I am not gonna give up until I solve this question, and he will do whatever, even though he fails so many times.
Mhm.
He's that kind of boy.
He's
So I feel like that kind of awakening is kind of like amazing. Honestly, I even shocked. Is this a real chapter? But it is. So what about you, Ike? What do you think about Luffy's awakening armament King's Hockey?
so Luffy awakening this new form of King's Hockey, like
Mhm.
utilizing King's Hockey, or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Conqueror's Hockey, and making it as if it's armament hockey is just absolutely awesome. I know he was being taught by the
Yeah.
Yakuza leader, and like he's sitting here trying to explain to him how to
Yeah.
use what is it called again? It's called
Conquerors.
27. We have
Supreme King's Haki.
Supreme King or Conquerors Hockey.
it's like no the one through Wano. What was it called?
Ah, Rio.
Rio. Ha,
Oh
there it is.
yeah.
Yeah, the Rio. Oh man, the Rio itself
Yeah.
mixed with the hockey and stuff, which is most likely it's pretty much hockey what he was teaching him also. But just how he was able to go back and realize it, and this actually takes place in the same like period when Rayleigh talks to him about what the only time you would truly awaken these type of hockeys, well, one, it would take time, and it'll be the experience of the things that you go through that will allow you to awaken these. And this is that very moment where he has to push past his own limits to actually awaken it. And seeing the way Kaido used it kind of like got him moving. And so when he finally does it, he's literally talking down to Kaido all badass, turned away from him and stuff like that. And then Kaido comes to freaking smack him with it again. And when you see him block it, that moment where he takes his foot and he steps and he hits his club, that reminds me of the anime when freaking when you have Roger and Whitebeard going to attack each other and none of their weapons even touch. I'm like, that part right there, I was like, oh my god! It literally gave me shivers. I was like, here we go. And you see the lightning come off his foot. I was like, oh, here it is.
Oh my
And he
god.
just started putting the whoop ass on Kaido. It wasn't like it started to look one-sided almost. Like he was literally just lighting him up. His face was covered in Conqueror's Hockey. His kicks were covered in Conqueror's Hockey. He was
Mhm.
defending. Like Kaido didn't even get a swing in. He didn't even
I
get
get
a
it. I get it. You're so right.
it was awesome. It was a great
Yeah.
moment. It was the moment we needed for Luffy. And then
Yeah.
even Law is kind of like he's just sitting there on the ground like, did this really happen? he's just like how he's not even making contact, and he's giving that whole context of what we were talking about. And I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome he was able to awaken. I'm happy he didn't awaken like a fourth gear like everyone else was saying and stuff like that. I
Fifth
think I actually said it.
gear. Fifth gear.
Yeah, fifth gear, sixth gear, and stuff like that. I'm actually really happy that he didn't do it. I'm happy that he actually unlocked true the true hockey, which is Conqueror's hockey, and he's able to code it in his fist. And
Mhm.
and his moment when he just goes, he's like, "Hey, tell everyone I got this. Y'all can go down." Man, Luffy, what are you?
What I
He's
also want to mention here,
uh,
Yeah.
I think we all, I think to this point, we all thought it was
uh,
like extended armament hockey.
oh yeah,
But we were all wrong on that
oh
because
yeah.
it is Supreme King's hockey.
Yep. It's like it's so crazy the way they're able to put it down and stuff. And I think it's
Now,
awesome.
okay, this is a double question, like a confusing question. Then, so we have a Rio that, like, so it kind of it kind of explained a little bit about Rio and a little bit about Conqueror's
Mhm.
hockey a bit, but it's a bit confusing because Rio, when you punch someone, it doesn't touch, but it affects the inside.
Yeah.
With Conqueror's King, basically you coat yourself as a defense. So isn't that kind of the same for Rio, or is it a bit different? Because now it's confusing, like which is it? Because I thought Rio is kind of the same when he was when
I got something.
Luffy was trying to block
Mhm.
Big Mom and say, that I'm not my Rio is not that strong yet. So like to old man, what's his name? Hugon. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's why I was like, honestly, that's why we need to differentiate the two. Which is the thing, or is this a new awakening, just like the what's that called, like the future side of
Mhm.
like the future side. What do you think, Muninn and I?
You can go first, Muninn.
I think it's like Rio and Haki are still like they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are basically
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same thing with another name.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
Rio is something different because if it would be completely the same as Haki, Oda wouldn't rename it
Oh yeah.
Rio
Yes, that is true.
and make it so confusing sometimes. So I think he's definitely yes. Rio is something different.
Hmm.
Then what is the extent of it though?
I got
Like,
that one right there. I got that one right there. So so when it comes to Rio, I want to take this in the same retrospect as Black Clover. Okay, so if you think Black Clover had they had regular magic, right? They had
yes,
magic and stuff like that, and then you had Yamine came in and they were using Ki. All right.
yes,
There are two different things. I think what it is with Rio is kind of the same standard. Yeah, you have hockey and stuff like that, but this is like I think he was talking about it earlier about inner being and stuff like that. It's something besides from hockey. He'd even say it deferred from hockey at all. So I think
mm-hmm.
it's in that same kind of category, something within the person. And because of it, he's able to apply this to that King's hockey. I'm sorry, Conqueror's hockey. He's able to apply it to it. And with
Mm-hmm.
this, him being able to do those blows, because I know the armament hockey itself is just kind of enveloping that into strength and like that kind of hardeningness for your body. But the real itself is actually not just hitting the person, but internally hurting that person, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
martial arts has something just like ki, like inner ki. You can attack people with ki and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's in that same realm, but a different retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now it has created this new form of Conquerors hockey. It's not the same as the what they had before, but this one, as we already see, I think is a very well better developed form of it, and I think it's going to give Luffy that advantage against his enemies and stuff like that. So I don't think it's exactly like hockey. I know I said it earlier that it's like hockey, pretty much the same thing, but I do think it's something that's additional to it, just like when Asta uses ki and his magic at the same time. So I do think it's kind of like in that same world.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I like with Luffy armament. It's
Mhm.
crazy. Honestly, it is kind of crazy. But you know what? Let's move on to the next question. how badass does this Luffy makes now? So Ike, what about you? How does this makes Luffy
How
badass now?
badass does it make Luffy?
Yeah.
All right. This makes Luffy absolutely badass. I still think Zoro's better, but I think this makes Luffy absolutely badass. Just him being able to use Conquer Hockey in the sense that he's doing it and fighting Kaido. Like before, they couldn't do any damage. He was doing barely any damage, and then he gets some hits in that were actually doing damage. Now every single one of those hits were either deflecting or causing damage to him internally. And it's perfect. It's exactly what he needed. He's fighting the
Question,
strongest person in the world right
question. You think that he can now beat Kaido?
now. Yeah, of course he can beat Kaido now. I think he
Because
can.
everybody saying that Luffy cannot beat Kaido.
No, I think he can beat
So
Kaido now.
underestimating.
It will end it like
Honestly,
that.
honestly, I think
Mm.
he can beat Kaido now, but he still needs a little bit of help.
There it is. Yes. I think he
And
can beat
that
Kaido.
is, yeah.
Go ahead, Muninn.
Well, I think that's for later when we say what we expect from the next chapters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want
Yeah.
to. We can discuss this later.
Okay. What about you, Ike? Let's continue.
Mhm.
For like, I mean, I know your favorite character is Zoro, but with Luffy having this now, and good thing he doesn't have Gear 5. Honestly, like, do you think this is would testament of how strong Luffy is and how his strength is actually coming along with his bounty?
I think this is going to put him on a higher pedestal than anyone else, period. This is going to put him, this literally puts him on the same levels as the Yonkos. I think it does. But
Oh, he deserved the title.
Yes, definitely.
yes.
He
Even though
deserved.
they made him the fifth king of the sea and stuff like that, that little random little, title. I think this right here
Yeah.
legitimately puts him on the same pedestal as them. Like, if he was fighting Big Mom, he'd be wrecking Big Mom right now. Because I don't even think Big Mom uses
Rio.
Conquers hockey the way Kaido does. I don't think she does, because I never seen her do that with her sword. She didn't do that with her fist. She did armor hockey with her fist, but she didn't do that. So I think this puts him on a higher pedestal. Of course, he needs more practice with it.
I think she might, but for Big Mom, she's like a big
Haven't seen her
child.
use it. That's the
No,
only thing.
no, like, she's like a
I think
child.
the Big Mom's strength, like how she fights,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
different than how Luffy and Kaido fights, and
Yes.
also that's the reason why Oda made Kid and Killer her opponents.
Yep, that is true.
That is true.
That's definitely true. Mhm.
Okay. What about you, Muninn? How does this make Luffy badass in your?
Absolutely badass. Like, he's going to be like, that's one of the things where in the moments in the fights where you think, yeah, well, maybe Luffy's not as strong, and then he's like, in your face, I'm strong. he's he's such a badass right now, and yes, he can definitely. I think he can beat Kaido now. Still, I think he needs a little bit of help
Yes.
because yeah.
Okay.
We talk about it after the rating.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going to happen the next? Before we think, what do you rank this manga chapter? Both
Ooh.
1009 and 1010. I will go first. I will have to say both chapter has to be 10 out of 10. It got me exciting. It got me like thing. And honestly, like both chapter in the same thing, reading it makes it more. I have to go with 20 out of 20.
20 out of 20. I like
Yeah.
it. It's a 20 out of
For
20.
me, it's also 10 out of 10 for
Yep.
both. They are both so hype chapters. They have so epic moments in there. They are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What about
definitely.
you? I
Hey, I have to ride the title, man. I have to ride the title wave. It's 10 out of 10 for both. 10 out of 10 for both. And the reason I'm going to say 10 out of 10 for both is 1009 itself. It showed absolute power, what both of them can do. And then it showed going from the beginning to end, it showed the power, it showed the strategy, it showed the execution of the strategy, and then it showed the retrospect going into the next one. Like it kind of made it seem like these both of these chapters were one, and that's how they actually did it. Because it kind of like in series linked up, which is like the whole actual arc.
Mhm.
But this whole these both of these chapters put together kind of led up to that big moment with Luffy.
Yeah.
Big moment. It really synced together. And like when we get to 1010, 1010's moment when it starts off with them freaking doing the fight Zoro after he already blocked Kaido and Big Mom's attack. Come on, and he was still able to get up and do that damage to Kaido. Oh man,
Mhm.
it shows exactly how strong the freaking Straw Hat Pirates are. It shows how
Mhm.
intelligent Law is, and it shows how much Kid and Killer can actually
Mhm.
do in these type of things. I think it was awesome. It was awesome. 10 out of 10 for both. Like you said, 20 out of 20. I don't know, 100%. These two things were hyped.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and for what's gonna happen the next chapter, guys?
Ooh.
Honestly, I think in the next chapters we will go down again. I think
Mhm.
honestly, I think
Do you think
Law.
they're gonna go
When
back
I
to
told
the area where Frankie and Sanji and the rest? Do you think they're gonna go back there now?
I
Mm.
think we will go back to Sanji, honestly, because we still don't know where Sanji actually went now,
Yeah.
in which direction. And what I said earlier, I don't think that Law will go down with Zoro. He will do the same thing he did with the samurai, with the scabbards. He's just um, teleporting them down, but Law is staying on the rooftop, helping Luffy, moving him around,
Hmm.
um, and
Mhm.
being support. He's not going. I don't think that he's going to actually actively fight Kaido that
Hmm.
Yeah.
much. The
Mhm.
main thing is on Luffy, but he is maybe occasionally attacking Kaido because he can do damage, but not too much.
Mhm.
So he is mainly there for support and moving Luffy around, like he did in the fight with Dofi, where he
Mhm.
switched like Doflamingo and himself.
Mhm. And
Um,
question for you, Muninn. Actually, in that instance, do you think, with Law kind of supporting Luffy up, do you think that him looking at Luffy testament about the will of D, like how in Will of D did there are enemies of the gods and stuff like that, and like seeing Luffy try like with Kaido triumphing, it doesn't make it more statement for the D's, like what the D's really stand for when you see like Law watching Luffy fight Kaido.
mm, yeah, I
Like
think
like
like
the
in
testament
the
for that.
fight, in the
Yeah.
fight with Dofi, Law actually first saw what maybe get a glimpse of what the maybe the D's are
Mm-hmm.
capable of,
Mm-hmm.
or some of them. Um, I mean, Luffy is a force that is not to be reckoned with. It is, and now with the fight, I mean, I think a lot of people like a lot of Zoro stands will hate me for this. That I say Law is going to fight alongside Luffy because, but also, um, first of all, you cannot compare Law and Zoro because Law is a captain of his own crew. He's one of the worst generation. He is and he is a D.
Mm-hmm. Zoro's one of the worst
So
generation too.
yes, but
At least it's not a D.
he is not a captain of his own crew. You
That
cannot
is
compare them.
That is
And
true.
also Zoro and Luffy never in whole One Piece fought the same enemy.
yes.
True until
That is,
Kaido.
until Kaido.
I also said before that I want Luffy and Zoro to fight alongside
Mhm.
against Kaido, but when I
If you
read
think about
those
it,
chapters and thought about it, I got to
yeah,
like the I remembered that they never fought the same enemy, so it wouldn't make sense for Zoro to fight Kaido.
yeah, but like remember when they were got separated? Like like in the Sabaody archipelago, they both have the same enemy. Like I mean, like the entire crew, yeah, but in a sense, like Zoro and Luffy were kind of teaming up, defeating Kumas, like the prototype Kumas, and also the one with the situation with Zoro, like what happened to him and stuff. So I
Oh,
feel
that
like
wasn't them fighting though.
Well,
That wasn't them fighting the
that
same
was
opponent.
not a major fight
Yeah,
though. That
yeah,
was
I see
just
that. I see what you're saying though.
yeah.
that was not a major fight like the end fight of an arc where they have like one boss
Mm,
enemy. Uh, that's not how it worked on Sabaody Archipelago.
that's like
Sabaody Archipelago is different.
that's like he didn't fight Arlong together. They didn't fight Crocodile together. They didn't fight on
Enoru?
Skypiea together. They didn't fight any of those big people. They never fought them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's trying to get with.
Yes.
Which
They
they actually
never
the
fought.
Kaido fight was the first time, huh?
Yeah. It is the first time, honestly. What do you think what's gonna happen next chapter, Ike?
All right, I think she's absolutely right about this because the way they left this cliffhanger, um, they he kind of has to go to the next scene now because he left it with Big Mama Prometheus about to become crazy with the sky and be all this badass. They left with Luffy looking over Kaido, pretty much looking down at him like, ah, about to whoop this ass. And then now we kind of have to go back to what's going on downstairs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Luffy telling Law, "Hey, you guys get lost," and stuff like that. I definitely think he's gonna bring Zoro downstairs. Like Zoro's gonna kind of like get patched up by someone, kind of get someone's gonna help him out a bit. We're gonna find out what's going on with Sanji because Sanji's still running around like Sanji. So he's still doing what he's doing. We still got Robin who's fighting Black Maria. We still got Chopper who's fighting with Queen, which I didn't think that was gonna last too long. So I think we might end up walking to that. I honestly think Sanji might end up freaking fighting Queen after. Um,
Saving Chopper. Saving Chopper.
Exactly, saving Chopper. So I think that's gonna happen. I think we're going back downstairs. We need
Yes.
to go back downstairs because we need to see the rest of the picture. Upstairs right now, like they're gonna wait. I think Otis. What's gonna happen is he's gonna wait to kind of like to show us that after he's already continued with the rest of the story because
Mhm.
And
we do need to conclude everything downstairs.
Yeah.
and also it would make sense that Zoro gets patched up and Zoro gets to fight King
Yes.
because King is the second strongest in the Beast
Mhm.
Pirates and Sanji going to fight Queen who is the third strongest in the Beast Pirates. That's also always the dynamics how
Has
they
to.
fought.
Mm-hmm.
Zoro always fights the second strongest in the
Mhm.
enemy's crew and Sanji always fought the third
Mhm.
strongest in the enemy's crew.
Exactly. I think that's definitely gonna happen. I think, and I'm ready for it. I can't wait for it. I don't really care what's wrong. I don't care what Nami's doing. I don't care what Sanji. I don't care what any of these other people are doing. I care about what Sanji's about to do. I care about what Zoro's about to do, and I care about what Robin's about to do. That's about it. Those are the three people I care about. What's going on downstairs, and of course Momosuke. We also don't know whether Momosuke's gonna go to the top with Kaido's
Brother.
Yeah, daughter. We don't, because honestly, that's where they need to be. Honestly, those two people, they need to be there. I think they need
Mhm.
to be there. I don't know if they're gonna jump into the fight. I do know we're not even in the fourth act yet. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
The,
Just saying.
the tragedy is still missing.
Yeah, we're still not there. So if you think about the way, Japanese culture when it comes to like their plays and the acts and stuff like that, we're not even at that point yet. So
So also,
they still got
Mhm.
some stuff that needs to go down.
Yeah.
on this point, like the Japanese thing, um the
Hmm.
third act is the drama, and
Hmm.
the second and the fourth act usually are the fights. So actually we cannot go into the major fights, like the
Yeah.
end of the major fights, without closing the third act.
Yes.
That's not how it should be. So I don't think that we will get there until Oda discloses the third act.
Hmm.
Honestly, the next chapter, I'm like super hyped up. Honestly, the fights, like uh, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm ready for to see everyone fighting, especially with Robin, Sanji, and honestly, I'm waiting for Brooke to show up too. And the plan for what's that called? The plan for like you forgot Otama. Otama had a plan.
Yes, 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 yes.
Tama had a plan. So I wanted to see that tides switching with the go board and everything because they did explain about the go board. Why
Uh-huh.
would you hint that little go board thingy and then Tama like revealing, oh well, I'm switching everybody to different sides now.
Mhm.
So it's like yeah. So in a sense, I kind of want to see that, especially with Brooke and I love Nami, so of course I want to see Nami fight. I want her to get a power up, like with Zeus. So I still want that, and I can't wait for Frankie. Frankie hadn't had a serious fight besides in Dressrosa area with Senior Pink, so this is the second time, and honestly, I want to see that. I love the Senior Pipe fight between him and Frankie, but you know what? Frankie like
Yeah.
is actually having this major fight is amazing. And I want to see what Jimin can do too. So I can't wait what's going up downstairs. Honestly, like downstairs was my favorite um parts, but we still need to know more about around the world besides like what's gonna happen to the world like after the shaking up. I mean they're planning on doing with the warlords. So what's gonna happen to them? Are they gonna have a serious fight with the warlords? I wanna see how Boa's gonna go wreck them or go with Mihawk, who literally didn't know his bounty. So it's like I can't wait. I'm actually excited. Honestly, like for me, maybe I kind of spoil it, but you know what? I don't care.
You know
um,
what? Go ahead.
you know what? Like I'm excited. Honestly, like this chapter is a testament for all of them. Does anybody have any questions that they want to add? Like thing. And guys, like if you have any question that you want to answer about this chapter, please ask. So we're gonna answer your question and give your what you think about this chapter because honestly
Oh
we
yeah.
love this chapter,
Oh
like I really love it. I want to actually give you guys uh a question you thing and I can't give you spoilers. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna give you spoilers.
start
That
posting
would
those questions.
just give me questions what you think about what you read like with
Mhm.
Zoro or anything that you want to include for it and especially things that we might have missed
Mhm.
in the chapter so far. So what are you guys you
So
have any
Kiwi, I actually have a question. Well, they're actually thinking about questions and stuff like that and posting it in the chat. I have a big one for us.
okay.
So as we move on, and we talked about the fourth act, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be something tragic. I think somebody either something crazy tragically has to happen or somebody has to die.
Somebody
Um,
die.
so there's a couple things that I think who will be the next person that, like, to kind of bring in this tragic moment. Um, and I kind of want, I don't know why I said I want this to happen, but uh, Genam and Denjiro, I think either of the two, something tragically has to happen to them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Something has to. I'm just saying they've been hyping them up so much. We have someone who's been in the story since all the way in well, before we got to Wano, and then we got Denjiro, which his past and the things that he's went through and stuff like that. So I want it to happen to them. It sounds bad that I say that, but I want something tragically to happen to those two because I think it will impact them most. What do you?
I think on that, I think out of those two, I think also with the tragedy,
Mhm.
somebody will die, and
Mhm.
I my best guess from what I got now from the arcs, from the fights and everything, and from the connection before,
Mhm.
I think it's going to be Kinemon. Because Kinemon, out of all the scabbards, has the strongest connection to Momonosuke through their journey
Yeah.
from Dressrosa and everything. And he also has the connection to Luffy. So when Luffy gets to know that Kinemon is dead,
Oof. Oof. Yeah. I mean,
he
like,
has he has even more of a reason to fight.
yeah, because if you think about it, like when Luffy picked up Kinemon, Kinemon was crying and he's like he's ashamed of dying because, like he was apologizing to Odin. It was like the most saddest thing. I thought Kinemon was gonna die there and I was like, no, don't do this to me, but you know what, it's fine. You know? Like I think, Muninn, I think Oda was hinting that out. Like little sprinkles of death.
Uh,
Like how he did that, he's hinting it. He's hinting it. He does that. Like he does that. Like we didn't know about with Pedro. Honestly, I still love Pedro. Like
mm.
people forgot about him from with Big Mom, but honestly, OG2 of Pedro, without Pedro, they would not make it out. Honestly.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. They wouldn't have.
It's true.
So honestly, like I would still give that victory for Pedro. I
Okay.
would have to.
So ultimately, who do you think the tragic moment will happen to Kiwi?
Big Mom.
Monin, who do you think?
Kinemon.
All right.
I would say Big Mom. I would say Kinema and Big Mom.
Yep. I would say both too, because you know what? Honestly, like you said before, Killer and Kid, they're
Mhm.
they're they're known for being ruthless murderers.
Yes,
So them going against Big Mom makes sense.
yes, that's what I said when we talked about it before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I said out of all the people fighting on the rooftop, fighting the Yonkos, the only persons I can imagine killing someone are
Mhm.
Kid and Killer because it's proven that they killed some people
Yep.
on their journey. That's the reason why Kid had the highest bounty out of all of the supernova. Because he killed people, because he's ruthless, he doesn't care about people.
Doesn't. Mm-mm.
So
Mm.
I don't think Kaido is going to die, but I wouldn't count out Big Mom dying.
Mhm. Mhm. Plus, we need to. I'm being honest with you. We need to replace the old gen because I mean we have
Oh,
Garp.
no.
No, I mean we have Garp already retiring. We
Mhm.
have Sengoku retiring, and we already have RMP. I love Whitebeard, but we already have Whitebeard died. So in a sense, we need those old generation. So now the new generations can take the new pedestal, like in a sense. So I feel like the turning point of One Piece, and it makes more sense to get into the thing if Oda wants to wrap the series up. And as much as we don't want One Piece to end, that's like,
Mhm.
so in a
Well,
sense. Mm-hmm.
on that also, we already saw with Whitebeard,
Yeah.
a newer generation is
Yeah.
taking over. Like, Blackbeard took Whitebeard's spot as a Yonko.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Now we have maybe Kid and Luffy
Or
taking a place of a Yonko, Kid
alone.
taking Big Mom's,
Yeah.
Luffy
I think
taking
more
Kaido's.
Katakuri taking over Big Mom's, honestly,
I think at
because
the end, I don't think at the end that
yeah, because I don't really
well,
think Kid has like a big spectrum type.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm not gonna say army, but like massive land or anything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's still under the control of the Big Mom family.
yes,
Yeah.
but also about what I want. I'm not talking about the
Mhm,
territories. I'm talking
mhm.
about their place, how they are seen by the
Title.
Marines, by the world, like
Okay.
their titles. They taking their titles
Hmm.
as a Yonko. So Kid is going to. I think maybe Kid is going to take a Yonko title. Luffy is definitely going to take a Yonko title. He had it.
Yeah, he
He
has a
did.
Yamato.
Yeah, he kind of. He didn't really have it. It was just like the newspaper guy who said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he is a Yonko." But the Marines didn't recognize it.
That
So
bird.
I think after Wano, the Marines will also say Luffy is a Yonko. He
Hmm.
is as strong
Luffy
as a Yonko.
Uncle. He said, "No, say I'm king of the fire."
Yeah. And he is
No.
going to be.
Yes. So,
That's crazy.
actually, I have a question that I wanted
Ah,
to say, for the both of you. What do you think is the like? Do you think, because everybody's still wanting to Gear 5 to start, like coming into the thing? Do you think that is there a way for Gear 5 to be in the series? Or do you think Luffy could just master both the Conqueror's Armament or Rio and also this future side much better?
mm.
Or do you think it's still possible to have Gear 5 in play?
You know
Let's
what?
Honestly,
start with Ike.
okay.
Um, I know I said it before about Gear 5 and stuff like that, but at this point, now that he knows what he can do with Conqueror's Hockey, um,
But I'm saying it like in the future. Do you
no, yes,
think
yes, yes, yes.
But do you think like should it be there, or should he just focus on mastering it?
So I don't think it should be there, but if it is there, I think it should be a combination of the both, of both
Mm,
the snake form, the mamba form, and then also both of the King Kong form. I think it should be ultimately a mix of the both. I hope he doesn't call it Gear 5. I hope it becomes like his true form. His true ultimate form of him just emitting Conqueror's Hockey throughout his body and then like becoming this like just Wukong thing or something. I really hope he becomes Wukong. I just want you to know that. I'm just saying. Monkey D. Luffy. I'm just putting that out there. I hope he becomes like some sort of Wukong. But I think I if it goes that direction of him getting another gear, then Gear 5 better be a combination of everything. Of his agility and his quickness and his strength. It better be a combination of the both. That's what I think.
okay.
In that stance.
I don't
What about
know. I don't know how Gear 5 would look like.
Hmm.
What I am thinking here is, didn't Oda hint on something like Gear 5 in a interview? Something I think I read something like that.
yeah?
And on that, I'm not sure if Oda is trolling.
He does
Yeah,
he does that.
yeah,
He does.
because he does that, but also
Mhm.
I I think Gear 5 is not happening in the near future. I think if
Yeah, I
Gear
don't think
5
so.
is happening, it is in, I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe in the fight against
Mhm.
Blackbeard, like
Yeah.
the earliest,
The
maybe in
earliest.
the fight with Blackbeard.
Mhm.
But so I won't count out. I wouldn't count out Year 5 not happening.
Okay. Okay. So I have to agree with you, but honestly, I don't think so because I want him to master it, just like how Shanks mastered his hockey.
Mhm.
That would be a testament of how strong Shanks
That's
really
true.
is.
That is true.
Because if you think about it, Shanks doesn't have devil fruit.
No, which is not a problem because Rayleigh didn't have a devil fruit either. So
It's a testament of how strong he can toe to toe with Big Mom and
oh yeah,
Kaido. It literally shows, okay, that means that Shanks has Rio, Shanks has hockey, like really strong Conquerors hockey, and to the point that even like the boat is like
hmm
his force of hockey is super strong. So yeah, we do have questions. So let's go with Chill Cracker. He says, who is your favorite of the five fightings against Wano and Big Mom?
oh, he most
Let's
likely means Kaido.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
What's
Well, we already know what Ike's answer is,
what's
and yeah,
I'll go last. I'll go
Ike
last.
is Zoro. Definitely Ike is
no,
Zoro.
but
So
you're the same thing,
first,
Muninn, with
go
Law.
first. Go first. So Kiwi, you go first.
Okay, well, I would have to say honestly, I would have to say with I'm excited with the fight with Luffy, and because for me, I love Luffy as a main character, and out of anything, he when he his confidence shows like he's ready to bring it on. That's when I'm like, I am sure he is going to bring it, and
Oh
that's what I'm
Yeah.
excited
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for all of the people who are already longer here, they should know what. I mean, I already told you Ike's
I already know.
answer. My
I already know.
answer will definitely always be Law
I
because
already know.
he's overall my favorite character. So I think for Ike and me, it's like easy question, like
Oh
favorite
yeah.
character of all.
Yes.
So you know what? In that, I think actually for this whole top level scene, everyone fighting and stuff like that, I am definitely gonna have to pick two people. I'm gonna
Okay.
have to pick two people, and of course I'm gonna pick my boy Zoro. Come on now, he's been putting it down the entire time. He's just so badass, and honestly, I want to put the combination on both Law and Zoro because because honestly, Law, his intelligence behind this is just genius level. He's planned this entire thing throughout the whole time. And he's been the big brains that's been switching things around. That he's been in that supporting role that's in ensuring that things will happen. And even when he took that he had the small chances where he can come in, he doing his injection shot and stuff like that. And he do as much damage as he can. So he's been a big part of this entire fight. And then you have Zoro. Zoro literally deflected multiple attacks, saved Luffy multiple times, and is the person that's doing second to the most amount of damage at his entire team. Like I think if it wasn't for Zoro and Law being there, they would have been done. Absolutely done completely. I don't care who else they threw in this group. Law has been saving all of their asses, and Zoro saved all of their asses by deflecting that attack.
Yes.
So honestly, those are the two people I'd pick out of the five group. I know Luffy's badass and he has all that raw power, but Luffy's also Luffy. And if it wasn't for them, Luffy would have just been running after Big Mom and Kaido over and over and over and over again, just getting beat up.
That
Uh,
is
so I think those two are the goats in this whole entire thing right now. I think
true.
they have been supporting this entire team. You know what? I say support. I want to say this. They have been carrying this entire team this entire
I
time.
think
Right?
they're the key.
They carried it, man. They carried it. But that's what I think. Out of the five, that's exactly what I think.
Okay. And then we have another question, and let's go to her. Catherine, 8727 says, "Who is your favorite character in Wano?" So let's just say exceptional. I know you're gonna say Zoro and Law, both of you. So let's just say out of Wano, who's your favorite? Like,
Yeah,
the person
we're not
besides
gonna. You know
the
what? Yeah,
Straw
I'm
Hat.
definitely not gonna pick
That's
my
the
favorite.
okay. So let's just say who's your favorite character in Wano?
Within Wano. Got it.
Yeah, within Wano.
You want to go
Like for
first?
example, like in Dressrosa, your favorite is
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dofi.
Do you want to go?
So
I'll let you go first, Muninn.
Oh,
I,
that's
I,
a
I will go
that's a
first.
hard question. Let
I
Kiwi go
will
first.
Okay,
okay.
we'll let Kiwi.
I, I'm not. I love honestly Yamato.
Yamato.
Yeah, Yamato
Okay.
or um Okiku, Okiku, Okiku. Yamato and Okiku, but I also think of honestly I have to go with Kinemon. I like as much as comedian effect Kinemon is, he's starting to grow to me. So
Hmm.
honestly, Kinemon and yeah, I Kinemon and Hiyori. But other than that, yeah,
Why?
um, Hiyori because I like how she just like cleans on.
So you want her to be waifu for Zoro? Got it.
Yes, waifu. But I feel like with Kinemon, the reason I like Kinemon was because it makes it more understanding about Kinemon's character,
Mhm.
about with how his relationship with being in this cavern and learning their backstory through Odin, and it's actually a wonderful take, and that's why I kind of like the character, especially Ikiku and the rest. Honestly,
Okay.
that's my take. What about you? Guys.
Uh, I guess for me,
Uh-huh.
I also have two people. Okay. I have Yamato. Uh, and
Okay.
I think, and the reason I like her in the first place is because she kind of reminds me of Luffy and Ace. She kind of does. Like the way she talks, the way she acts, how she's passionate and stuff like that. She kind of reminds me of that. And like, yeah, she's not like them, but she kind of has that
No,
energy.
he's a male. Don't say she.
Oh,
He's a
I'm sorry,
male.
Mel. Mel. But it just that type of energy is just crazy. And I like it, and I like that energy, and it's kind of to the point where it's kind of like it's got me like, you know what? I wouldn't mind another straw hat. I'm just saying, I would not mind
I
another
want
straw.
Karen to be a straw hat.
I just said
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think that
mind.
Carrot is going to be a straw hat,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think we need to get another. I think we need to get an actual person from Wano, another samurai, someone from Wano that needs to join this team. Okay, I don't
Okay.
want someone who's got his swords, but someone else to join this team. And I
I
like
wouldn't
her
have
on Wano.
Momonosuke. I wouldn't have to go with Momonosuke if that's the case. Because
Join the team?
yeah, because if you think about it, Odin is kind of like Robin. If you
Yeah,
no, listen, it's like Odin was kind of like Robin
mm,
in Roger's crew. If you
that is
think
true.
about because if you can say is that okay he can read he can even like write in there so I
Mhm.
feel like Momonosuke who can hear things of all voice would be a perfect even though he's young he could be the cabin boy just like when he was when Shanks and Sting I mean he would see oh there's the new king so I
Mhm.
feel like as much as I don't want Momonosuke to join it'll be fun but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
and but also Momonosuke is going to be inherit the like the top leader thing. So I don't know about that, but honestly, it's
yeah.
up to Momonosuke what he wants to do. would he follow his dad?
I don't think
Or
he can leave his island after this, honestly.
well, I'm just saying, would he follow his dad just like his dad's striving of adventure? I mean, why would Oda give that hint that would Momonosuke strive to be like Oden, who likes the adventure, or would he follow to be the shogun and be the leader and stuff? He has two choice.
Yeah.
Would he follow and join Luffy and help him his quest, or would he just help his people? It's up to him. So that's my take.
Okay. Yeah, and
But,
I think my second one though,
oh,
my
so who's your second?
yeah, that was my first one. My second favorite person in it, Denjiro. I think
Denjiro.
yeah, I think Denjiro, and
Okay.
I actually like him. I actually think he's really badass, and I actually wanted him on the top floor, man. I wanted him on the top floor, helping Luffy and stuff like that, because I feel like he's the strongest of the entire family of all the samurai. I think he is the strongest. I absolutely do think that.
Okay.
And I did want him to be up there, kind of like yeeting it up, but he's downstairs.
He got
I want to see
body.
more of him.
I mean, he got bodied by Kaido. So
Yeah, yeah. And I want to see him. I want to see more of him, man. I want to see more of him.
all right. What about you, Muninn?
Honestly, I also have it's a hard decision to but I have to go first with Kiku
Mm-hmm.
and second Yamato.
And why Kiku?
I don't know. I like Kiku. I
She's like, I just like.
yeah. I sometimes I just find it hard to describe why I like a character. Not because I don't have reasons, but
Yeah.
it's just it's hard to explain. I don't know. I
That's awesome. That's cool.
And why Yamato though?
um
Because Yamato's
because
badass.
honestly, I kind of agree to Ike's what Ike said, that Yamato is like Yamato is a free spirit that is like
Mm-hmm.
he is a character, like he is a free spirit that wants to be free, but he is caged.
Yep.
And he is happy for everyone that is free, that has the freedom. He's not envying the people, but he's like grateful that they are free, even though he is not. And but he's
Well,
also willing to fight for
yeah.
his freedom. And I think that's a trait, a personality trait on Yamato that I appreciate so much.
Yeah.
And also I think he is a very strong character.
Mhm.
I think the
And
personality fits for
honestly,
the crew.
yes.
Alright. Yeah.
I honestly, of all of the people that are in question right now, for next Straw Hat, I have to say I want Yamato.
There we go.
At first, when Yamato got introduced, I was like, nah, I don't want Yamato to be on the crew. But then I learned to grow on the character, and
Yeah.
Yamato definitely grows on you, and that's what I
yeah,
was talking about too. I was like, you know what? I definitely would love to see Yamato in the crew. I would not mind that. Out of everyone in Mono, definitely Yamato.
Okay.
yes. And also, I kind of disagreed on Momonosuke, because Momonosuke has another
Yeah,
purpose
he has a
in One
responsibility.
Piece. He is like he has for me. He has the purpose to take Odin's place and free and take down the borders of
Mhm.
Wano country. He's
Okay.
the one who fulfills his father's dreams
Yeah.
by opening the borders of Wano country and opening Wano to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that Yamato would help the Straw Hats for the thing since she has the logbook for Odin then.
Oh,
Well, I think Luffy won't want didn't like he wouldn't want to have it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
He would
He's gonna have his own.
honestly, if Yamato goes to Luffy and says, "Yeah, yeah, I have the logbook of Odin. Do you want to have it?" There's the whole journey of
And then it's like, oh, One Piece is there too. And then the Straw
yeah,
Hats.
and Luffy would be like if Yamato actually gave him the logbook,
Mhm.
Luffy would just
Throw it
throw
away.
it overboard
It would be
and say,
Stampede
"No,
all
I don't
over
want
again.
it."
It
He
would
would
be
like
Yeah.
he would say,
Stampede all over again.
You would
no,
throw it.
he would throw it away. He would throw
Mhm.
it away like this, like no, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
want it.
Why? I don't want it. Yeah. Honestly. All right, we're gonna do the last question, and her Catherine 8727 says, how how strong do you think Hankook is truly is? I'll have to go
Oh
with hi because that's his wife.
wow, wow. Okay, so you know what, Hancock. So someone brought it up earlier about everyone going after Shabakis and stuff like that.
I
And,
did.
yep. And I want to bring up two things. I want to bring up Stampede the movie. All right.
Stampede is not canon.
Hey, I just want to bring it up. All right. I just want to bring it up. I want to bring up Stampede, and I want to bring up her actually having to fight the Marines. All right.
Okay.
And the reason I want to bring up Stampede is because during Stampede, if you guys haven't watched the movie Stampede, it's awesome. Go watch it. It's amazing. But
Mhm.
during Stampede, when they all team up and she's like, how dare you attack my man? And she runs after the main villain, and she kicks him and absolutely like just wrecks him in the stomach. Like she actually kicks this huge giant monster with her own strength, and moves it. And like that right there, like when they did that, I was like, oh,
Do you expect that
how
he?
strong is she really?
Yeah.
I was like, how strong is she actually? And I want to see that. I want to see them in the actual manga and the story. I want to see how strong she is because she didn't actually fight during Marineford. She didn't. All she did was deflect. There wasn't any true fighting or anything like that. So I really want to see what her real potential is. I want to see what type of actual hockey she has. I want to know
Or
how
there-
strong she is.
I feel like there's like a special hockey for Amazon Lily.
Oh, you mean for all the Amazons? Yeah.
Also,
They have their own
we have to
special.
keep in mind she is an Amazon.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
And
strong. Yeah.
like in the mythology, the Amazons were one of the strongest fighters. I think Hancock is not
Amazonians.
weak, but I don't think she's as strong as a Yonko. Definitely
No.
not.
I don't.
She's not as strong as a admiral.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, she does have hockey, so she can still fight Loke Fruit users. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I think maybe she could. I think she could be as strong as a vice admiral.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah. I definitely think
Like,
she might.
I think they need like at least
Definitely not as strong as an admiral.
I think that
Do you
the
think she's stronger than Smoker, though?
yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
'Cause
Maybe
she
the
can stop
same
his attacks like
strength.
she did before, remember?
Maybe
She kind of
the same
broke
Mm-hmm.
Smoker's staff.
Yeah, the Sea Stone. She broke the Sea Stone, which is crazy because it's crazy that she was able to do that in the first place.
And then Smoker
Right.
like and then remember Smoker's
Mhm.
like, oh, she's a hockey user because
Yep.
like nobody can like he's not used to people touching him. So when she kicked when Boa kicked Smoker, like he was kind of shocked. Wait,
Yep.
she kicked me? She touched me? She got connect?
She was kicking a bunch of vice captains. She was kicking a bunch of she was kicking a bunch of people and just doing like damage like that. And she wasn't even
I
trying.
feel like
She was just like,
within-
get out of my way.
even with the 2 year, I think she's still like even though like Luffy went to like the deserted place for training. I think that she also went to training as well too,
Mhm.
to in a sense. So I feel like
Training. I
And
just
and
naturally strong.
another
yeah,
thing, she is still she was still considered Shichibukai, and that means she is a pirate that was kind of feared
yes,
by the Marines, so she has to be strong.
yes, and that's why as much as I love my Kobe, you still have to work. Huh? Anyway,
I think we don't know how strong
Yeah,
Kobe
we don't know how
really
strong.
is right now, because he is, I think he got very strong.
If you look at
mhm,
Stampede, though, they kind of make it seem like they kind of like pushed him to the back and put Smoker in the front. So I don't know. I That's just one of those things. I kind
you
of
know
want to
what?
see
You
the
know what?
competitor.
You and me are
Especially
gonna
since,
have
like,
a conversation.
also also I
Kobe.
think another thing, like, Kobe
Hmm.
is in sword,
Yep.
and Helmappo is not. And we know
Oh,
Helmappo is not as strong as Kobe. And I think maybe also we have X Drake, who is in sword. So I
Mhm.
think maybe Kobe might be as strong as X Drake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're comparable in strength.
you said X Drake?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that. I definitely think he's on that level.
Yeah, because they're both powder sword.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yeah, guys, that's it for the question, and I really love the conversation, guys. We, One Piece on break next week, so there's not gonna be One Piece, but we're still gonna post some videos, so check it out. We'll be posting our reaction, so we'll be posting new anime reaction to some anime. So if you have any
Mm.
suggestion of animes you want us to react, make sure to comment below what animes you want us to see, and especially this 2021 there's new animes, which one
Oh
you
yeah.
want us to react, so that way we will show you. And make sure, if you guys want to see our full reaction, make sure to check out also our Patreon, because it's going to be in our Patreon as well. So make sure to join our discords for more information. And guys, this is the wraps up our podcast. Thank you guys so much, and be sure to watch our podcast again on another Friday, because next Friday will be break of One Piece, so it will be at 3 p.m.
We
Not
got Black Clover tomorrow.
And yes, watch the Black Clover tomorrow too. And it's going to be a double chapter just like One Piece. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of our content, follow our social medias, like, subscribe, hit that button. And oh, one big thank you for the Otaku International. And like I said, don't forget to hit that button. All right? This is Kiwi. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.